What do you think is the biggest or the most difficult barrier for Bitcoin acceptance in Botswana, for people to start using it? What do you think is the most difficult thing to achieve?
First, fear. Yeah. Fear drives people crazy. Like fear make people not to accept change. You know, like when people hear change, they're like, you know, that's first thing, you know, fear. How do we drive fear away from people's hearts? When they've been, you know, bombarded with a lot of negative stories, it's quite difficult. It takes time. You know, people are afraid. You know, maybe you'll go meet Gox on us or whatever, you know. People are scared. That's the first, biggest barrier, fear. How do you eliminate fear in people's hearts to say, make them feel comfortable? And secondly, you know, what can I say? Technology. Yeah. People are afraid of technology. We always associate, we blacks associate technology with the whites. In Botswana we say dilotsa makgowa, which means English people's stuff, not ours, you know. That's like one of the biggest problem, you know, dilotsa makgowa. You know, like to say something like you are speaking dilotsa makgowa, like that English people's stuff. That is one of them. Another barrier, you know, that we have. People are like, these are for the blacks, these are for the whites. You don't go there, you know, you'll get mad or something, you know. And another problem, what can I say? Yeah, in internet also, you know, very few people have got access to that, you know. It's but you know, it's a process. I don't know if you know how we operate. Africans, we take time. Like, first you tell me something, I'll be like, It's not that I'm actually listening to what you're saying, you know, I'm like, and then I go like, what was he saying? You know, take our time. And then after taking our time to digest whatever, it can be a month or two, still digesting, we can come back and say, okay, you know, we like to take our time, you know, to grasp things, then we can put our foot in it. When we put our feet, or we just put our toes, don't put the whole leg, I mean the whole feet, so that we can feel it first, and then if it's comfortable, then we can go for it, you know.
10 years ago, even less than 10 years ago, people didn't believe that most of the African continent will be connected to the internet.
Yeah. I know Bitcoin is going there. The fear is like if you've got Kenya and then M-Pesa and the Kipuchi and all that, people, you know, they are now okay with it, right? I think the same concept that I use for Orange Money and my Zaka, it's the same concept can be used. If you explain it in that way, people become a little bit comfortable, you know. Use something that they already know. Teach them based on a knowledge that they already know. Even if this one is more advanced, you know, you say, do you know Orange Money? Same, but this is what is happening. You know, it's like you get a little bit of trust. But not the old woman in the village. You'll be like, doesn't get what you are saying. So I was looking at through their buy. They've got a buy and sell kind of page, and I went through their buy page, and I saw something about Bitcoin. I opened it, and I said, maybe I can work for somebody, and they can pay me in Bitcoin, because by then, for me, the most important thing then was the value. It was like, yeah, this thing is better than the Pula, you know. It can be able to help me raise some funds and you know, help my family, you know, and all that. But in the long run, as I continue reading about it, you know, I shifted from me to like, wow, what can I do for my country? Yes, so that's when I began to say, friends, have you ever heard of Bitcoin? You know, you can be able to do this, you know, people in the village can be able to do that, you know. And then I set up the Facebook page, BitCrazy, it's called BitCrazy. And I set up that page, that is the Bitcoin Botswana Facebook page. I began to put a little bit of information, you know, teaching people what is Bitcoin, what is it all about, you know, about remittances and you know, about control of your finances and all that. You know. And then I said, I've been doing this for some time alone, and I don't know much. Let me reach out to people. That I began to send people messages. You know, I send messages to people to say, can you help me? Can you help me? And then it wasn't much response by then. And then this other guy from Motherboard Vice, I don't know if it's in the United States or somewhere, you know, he responded and said, let me do a story on you, and you tell me more about what you are doing. And I told him, this is what I'm doing, this is what I want to do. I want information so that I can be able to teach my people about Bitcoin. You know, he made the story, and people began to know about the story. People donated some few Bitcoins, and took the Bitcoins to localbitcoins.com. I exchanged, I bought people T-shirts, you know, with the Bitcoin there. I printed the T-shirts, and I went to Oasis Motel in Gaborone. I said, I want a place, you know, fitted with the big screen, whatever. And then, you know, I paid cameramen, you know, and I called people and said, sit down here. I'm going to be teaching you about Bitcoins. And they came. I told them about everything. We made a wallet, and I shared the donation that I got from the people that I received. I shared the donations with them, and then the community began from there. For me, it was so different because I've been scammed before. Like when I was looking for all the opportunities to try and raise funds, I went through MLMs, I went through all that. I'll pay with my debit card, and I lost the money, never received anything. They were saying, in 7 days you do this, this will happen. It never happened. But with Bitcoin, when I read, they said, this is a payment system, okay? It's a currency, okay? I said, oh, I know where currencies are. I went to coinmill.com, and I searched. I found Bitcoin there. I said, wow, this is a currency. It is not a scam. So if it's like that, then for me, then it was like, that was that. For me, I was convinced from there. And then from there, I began to read even more to understand what are people doing, you know, what is really the Bitcoin community about. You know, I began to read and read and read and read, you know, and shared on the Facebook page. And the friends started commenting. You know, I searched for people on Google. Anybody who was doing Bitcoin, I would message them so that, you know, they can support me. That's what I did, you know. They were somewhere like, you and your computers, because like, I like to spend most of the time behind the computer. They were like, you and the computer things. Why are you teaching Ari? You should be doing computer things. I don't trust anything that comes with the computer. You know, that's what someone was saying, you know, you don't have to trust a computer. You know, like, some were like, what is this all about? You know, we've gone through Forex scams and all that, you know, it's, you know, it takes time. I don't believe that those who are like, I don't know whether I say wise quickly or intelligent enough. You tell them something like, I'm going to read, I'll come back to you. But there are those who just like, it's not worth it.
Do you use mobile money in Botswana?
Yes, we've got what you call my Zaka from a Mascom. You know, you can go and load your phone with money and you can send anywhere. And then we've got the Orange Money. Orange Money is for another network called Orange. You can put money there, and then you can transfer to whoever. You can buy electricity with it, or you can buy airtime with it. Top up your airtime at home, and you can send somebody money at home through it. And
do many people use it?
Yeah, many people use those because they don't need smartphones. They just need just a normal phone. But in the village, if his mother has got a phone call, the phone call will come to my house, and then I'll send a child, run and go and give Gareth's mother, she's got a call. You know, Africa, that's how we do it. Go and give Gareth in the village. It's like that. In the village, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, because the phone will be from this, belonging to this family, but the person next door uses the same phone to receive calls. I can give you the number, the same number. This one gives you the same number. Oh, you want to talk to me, to call that number, but the number be like...
Again, talking about trust, this is a lot of trust.
There's a lot of trust. So there's a lot, in the village, there's a lot to be done. Like, if I'm to bring that is why I was like, what if I can raise funds one day, you know, to say, let me buy a small phone. Cheap phones, Chinese phones are like 100 pula. 100 plus like how many dollars? $10. You know, what if I raise funds? Just a project for Bitcoin awareness. 10 cheap phones, and then do something that like SMSs, that platform of SMSs, sending money through SMSs, that should be a start, you know. Then people can start thinking, I should own my own cell phone, because they will know that my cell phone, my money. That should be like perfect. But it's in the long run, you know, one step at a time. For a lot of, you need to do a lot of explaining, you know, like why my money is there and not here. You know, it's a trust thing too. We've heard stories, right? Most of them are true. You try to do something good, you raise funds, you say, I want to do a fundraiser. You raise funds, and they don't go to the person that needs the fund. In between, there's something happens, and you hear stories, whatever happens. But with Bitcoin, I'm believing the money goes directly to the source. He'll be able to use the money properly and account for it nicely. I mean, it's quite perfect. It works so awesome. Like, for me, again, the person in the village, with their products that they produce, instead of them staying in the village and they continue suffering, and they can sell the product that they use. Like, the product that Africans produce, they're in demand in the Western countries, in Europe. They need those things. So we can make a website where we can put all the products, go around the village, and say, what are you doing? What are you producing? Or leather shoes? Okay, take the photos and put a price, and we'll see how we can help them in that. Right now, I'll be depending mostly on the South African exchange, because they've opened their doors that we can use their exchange. And also, there's also a plan that we can use scratch cards, as part of Bitcoin. And at the end of the day, they still need to exchange. We'll be using the South African exchange.
Okay.
After all that, after having began to teach people, I was like, how can I help? Like tangibly, where people can see. If I tell you that I'm going around teaching people, it's not tangible, right? You don't see it, unless you see the video. You don't see it actually that I'm teaching people about Bitcoin. I said I want to do something tangible that will benefit not only the Bitcoin community, but also my country and also its people. So I said, let me look for a non-profit organization I can be able to help in Bitcoins, So I came up with two names at first. It was Usefulness, that is a center for rehabilitation for alcohol and drug abuse, and also SOS. I sat down, I contacted another guy in the United States. I said, this is what I want to do. He said, no, I'll be able to help you, but I did not materialize that one. So I sat down, write the letters, and then we gave them to SOS, and we gave one to Botswana. Botswana did not respond to the letter. I think they just said, whatever. So, but SOS, they responded. They even gave me what they wanted to do. They said that's what I want to do and all that. I've been in contact with them. Yesterday, I called them in their presence. I called SOS yesterday. I talked to the woman yesterday. I said, look, this is what I'm doing for you. I've been in contact with them. I go to their office. I sit down. I talk to the lady. I told her about Bitcoin. They don't quite understand. She's still at the shaky stage of understanding. That's what I'm doing. So SOS knows about that. So they're just waiting for me to make it happen for them.
Okay, so you'll be the person promoting SOS, and then
I'm more like promoting Bitcoin than SOS. To say, let's forget about the bad publicity that is always surrounding Bitcoin. Let's bring something good. Let's say Bitcoin built a youth center in Botswana. Bitcoin did build a youth center in Botswana. That's like wonderful. Let's stop the people are always concentrating on the bad. It's time that we do something good about it. Today, Bitcoin brought me to Amsterdam. It was the community that said, let's bring this girl here, right? It's a good thing. That's what we want to concentrate on. I'm one of those people who are tired about hearing all the bad things only. What about good things that Bitcoin is doing? So Bitcoin is building SOS, a youth center in Botswana.
fantastic.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.